What's going on, YouTube? This is the SG1 Sports SEC Football channel, and in today's video, we're going to break down the 2019 recruiting class for the Auburn Tigers. Very interesting class. Didn't sign a whole lot of guys, just 21 commits in this class, but got some really impactful recruits, some players that I think could make a major impact on this team right away, and you are looking at them on your screen right now. We'll get more into that, but let's talk about what this team needed. I felt like for immediate help, they needed potentially a quarterback, and they needed help at linebacker because they are going to be very young at linebacker. So those are the two areas they needed guys that could come in and play right away. Long term, I felt like they needed to also add more depth at linebacker, depth on the defensive line. They have a lot of guys about to be gone, and definitely on the offensive line, because all 5 starters heading into 2019 are probably going to be gone. So that's going to be a major issue moving forward in the future. You look at what they got, and they have 9 players already enrolled, so they did a good job getting guys enrolled early. You got Owen Pappoe, 5-star linebacker, one of the top recruits in the country. Bo Nix, 5-star dual threat quarterback, one of the top recruits in the country. So the 2 positions they needed immediate help at, they got really good players. So a great job there. They also had a 4-star safety, a 4-star defensive end, and a 4-star athlete, Cameron Kelly. I believe he might wind up playing running back. They have him listed as an athlete. A lot of times your athletes are going to play running back, receiver, or defensive back. That's usually the case, so we'll see how that pans out. Also, players that enrolled early: DJ Williams, a running back that could potentially come in and help right away. They've got a lot of backs, don't really have anyone that's emerged as a great running back, so I think that's still going to be a wide open position. They also added a 4-star defensive end and a couple of 3-star tight ends, so they did a good job again of getting 9 players already enrolled and ready to go through spring practice. That could be big for them heading into 2019. Now let's look at the players that signed but are not enrolled yet. You had Charles Moore, a 4-star defensive end and a very high level 4-star, by the way. Mark Anthony Richards, a player that they got on signing day, an athlete, maybe going to play a receiver. He's there. You had a 4-star defensive end, a 4-star offensive guard, another 4-star athlete, and a 4-star cornerback. So they added 3 4-star athletes. We'll see where Gus puts those guys. That's going to be something to watch for sure. And then we had 6 more players. So we had another 4-star receiver, a 3-star corner, a 3-star offensive guard, another 3-star offensive guard, a 3-star outside linebacker, and a 3-star inside linebacker. They did not get George Pickens, the big 5-star wide receiver who was committed to Auburn. He wound up flipping to Georgia on National Signing Day. So that was a big hit, but other than that, I think they got pretty much everyone else that they wanted. So let's look at it position by position and see if they filled the holes that they needed to fill. We start on offense. At the quarterback position, of course, getting Bo Nix was huge. A guy that potentially could come in and start right away. We will see how that works out. You know, I personally, if you don't know, I am an Auburn fan. I like Malik Willis. I like what he brings to the table with his elite speed. We haven't seen enough of him throwing the football. I've thought he's done an okay job when I've seen him throw the football. So that's going to be a really interesting battle there at the quarterback position. They got a couple of other guys as well. That's going to be maybe a 4-person quarterback race at Auburn. Very interesting to see who's going to win that quarterback battle. But they got a guy that could come in and compete potentially and be a star in the future. Again, we're talking about 5-star quarterback Bo Nix, dual threat, great quarterback. So they got that home run at the quarterback position. Then you go to running back. They did add 1 4-star running back. Not really a huge area of need. You'd like to have someone that could maybe step up and be a star in the future. Again, one of the athletes I believe is going to play running back. They added a 4-star receiver. Again, athletes could be receivers as well. We'll show you those in just a minute. So the skill position, they didn't do a whole lot there. Didn't really need a whole lot. And also added a couple of tight ends. That could help out. But where I thought they just really dropped the ball was the offensive line. Just a terrible job. You only add 3 offensive linemen. They're all guards. Only one of them is a 4-star. And like I mentioned earlier, all 5 offensive linemen that are projected to be the starters in 2019 are going to be gone after 2019. They're actually all 5 redshirt seniors, 5th-year seniors. So you've got to add some talent there. Calvin Ashley, a 5-star recruit from the past, he's transferring. I mean, they have major issues on the offensive line moving into the future. Now, perhaps they could get some JUCO guys, some transfers, something like that, but that is going to be a major concern in the future. Now, looking ahead to 2019, not a big deal at all. If you're just looking at that, yeah, they're fine on the offensive line and didn't really need much. So short term, not a big deal. Long term could be a huge deal, and that's why I'm going to have to give this offensive class a C. Again, they got their quarterback. They got the guy they wanted. They got a guy that's probably possibly going to be a star in the future. They added some skill position players, but really did not do a good job on the offensive line. And when we've seen Auburn teams in the past be really successful, it seems like they always have really good veteran offensive lines, and we're just going to have to see what happens after this season. Do they have guys already on the roster that they believe can step up after this season? Again, we will see. Let's move on now to the defensive side. Defensive line, again, an area where they didn't need much right now. 2019, not a big deal. But just like the offensive line, a lot of guys are going to be gone after this upcoming season, so they needed to add some depth and that next wave of defensive linemen for the future, because they have been able to reload on that defensive line. It's been the strength of and the consistency, really, of this Auburn team for the last several years. They did a great job. 4-star defensive ends. Very solid job. They did not sign a defensive tackle, but sometimes you might see guys move around. You know, 1 or 2 of those defensive ends could move to defensive tackle. We'll see what happens with that. But I think to get 4 guys that caliber, again, 4-star recruits on that defensive line was very good. So great job on the defensive line. A linebacker. All right, yes, they got Owen Papo. Yes, big-time player, one of the top recruits in the country. He's going to be probably a starter as a freshman when you look at what they have on the roster right now. But other than that, they only signed 2 other 3-star linebackers. That's not going to get it done. And when you look at what they needed, immediate help as far as depth is concerned at linebacker, and then into the future, again, who's going to be that next wave of linebackers, they didn't get the job done. Yes, they did sign 3 linebackers, but I thought they could have done a little better. Again, though, you never know. Some of these 3-star players could be better than 5-star players, and I say that in every video, but all we have to judge these players off of is what these ratings are. And again, we're using 24/7 Sports for these ratings. I can't break down film on thousands of players and tell you everything about all these players, so I just leave it to the recruiting experts. And if they say a guy's a 3-star, I'm going to assume he's not as good as a 4-star. That's not always the case, like I said, but based off of those numbers, they didn't do great at linebacker. In the secondary, they added a 4-star corner, a 4-star safety, and a 3-star cornerback. So they added some nice depth there. Didn't really need a whole lot. They've got some young players already on the roster, and they didn't really need any immediate help. So a good job there. So I think on the defensive line and the secondary, they did a great job. Linebacker, they got one big-time player, but other than that, maybe didn't do great. I don't think it's a horrible class on defense, but we'll give them a B, I would say. And then also you do have those athletes as well. They signed 3 athletes. I think they're all going to play running back or receiver. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe some play defensive back. If you're a hardcore recruiting guy and you know more about these players, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I don't follow recruiting very closely, at least right now. The videos seem to be doing pretty well, so we might do that, especially here on the SEC channel moving forward. I may cover recruiting a little bit more, and I'll try to do a better job learning about all these players. But kind of jumped into it late this season and really just wanted to show you the classes and break them down by position because it's very interesting to see how these teams do and how they fill all the holes that they needed to fill. So again, we'll give them a C on offense, a B on defense, a C+ overall. It was a small class. They, yes, got some impactful players, absolutely. And for 2019, this class is fine. It's a great class, and I think it's going to help them win. But if you look at the future, it's not a great class at building depth at some of those areas like the offensive line and linebacker. Next year, they could have a great class. It may not matter at all. But, again, I would have liked to have seen them add a little bit more depth especially at those two spots. So you guys let me know what you thought about this recruiting class and anything you want to add to this video. Feel free to do that down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports SEC Football Channel.